What's Good Miami Beach is sponsored by noted plastic surgeon Dr. Baruch Jacobs and the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center. Dr. Jacobs has been referred to by the New York Times as a plastic surgeon who keeps Miami Beach beautiful. Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery has a state-of-the-art operating room and offers medical aesthetic services and VIP hotel and surgical packages. We invite you to contact us to enjoy a consultation and experience What's Good Miami Beach at the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center.
Hey, what's good, Miami Beach? I'm Jerry Libbin, President and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. Our chair, Robin Jacobs, brought the idea of bringing a show of good news. You know, there's so much news out there every day, but unfortunately it's always about things that are happening that perhaps are not good news. So this show is dedicated to bringing you, our tourists, our residents, information about things that are happening in our community that are really good. And today, I'm proud to have the Executive Director of the Lincoln Road Business Improvement District, Tim Schmand, with us. He brings with him 34 years of placemaking management experience to Lincoln Road, a district he's followed closely since the early 1980s. Prior to Lincoln Road, Tim served briefly as the Interim Executive Director of the Coconut Grove Business Improvement District, as well as the Executive Director of Bayfront Park Management Trust. Tim, welcome. It's great to see you as always. We see you around town and we're in many meetings together.
Right, we're in many meetings together. It's great to see you, Jerry.
So, start by telling a little bit about your family background, what brought you, how long you've been in Miami. I know you've worked 34 years here, but I mean, judging by, sitting here, you're more than 34 years old. So
Right, so in 1982, my then wife and I had a job on a wagon train, and we were in Upper Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And we had a disagreement with the management company. So it was coming on fall, and we were leaving the wagon train, and my parents were living in Hollywood. So, of course, we came down to Hollywood, Florida. And I remember I had a job working with mentally handicapped adults in Midtown. In Midtown. And somebody said, "Have you ever been to the art festival?" I said, "What art festival?" They said, "Coconut Grove Art Festival." I went to the Coconut Grove Art Festival and left Hollywood immediately.
Incredible.
And moved to Coconut Grove. And then, of course, once I was in the Grove, I got to explore the beach and downtown Miami, and the rest, is they say, is history.
It's fascinating you run a wagon train.
Yeah, so it was a treatment program for juvenile delinquents, and these were the worst of the worst juvenile delinquents. They were given a choice of going on the wagon train or going to adult prison, and they would opt for the wagon train and oftentimes say they wished they went to prison. It's just,
Would you use the whip?
No, so what it was to teach the kids responsibility. So each kid was given a horse, and they were responsible for maintaining the horse. And we traveled 30 miles a day, either on horseback or mule or by wagon. And if you didn't maintain your horse, you walked the 30 miles.
Wow.
And you walked the 30 miles in front of the train. And then every night we set up camp. The kids slept in teepees. My wife and I slept in a pup tent. And we just did that. We traveled from St. Joe, Missouri, up through northern Michigan. And we're on our way back down south when we had the discussion with the management company.
Incredible. So now you're in Coconut Grove, right? And the art festival is incredible. That's been running continuously since when?
So the Coconut Grove Art Festival began when they were doing a play at the Coconut Grove Playhouse. And Charlie Cinnamon it'll come to me what the name of the play was, but Charlie Cinnamon thought to promote the play, we should do an art show in Coconut Grove. So it started out as a promotional ploy by Charlie Cinnamon, and of course it's been going on since the 60s.
Yeah.
So and it's just one of the.
It's like around Valentine's Day or something. Isn't
So
it
it's
February
it's in February.
Yeah.
It's generally the same day as the boat show.
Okay.
Right. It's that same weekend, President's Day weekend.
Okay.
That's
beautiful.
what it is.
So you founded a bid, or there was a bid in Coconut Grove, or
what happened? So. I had a disagreement with management at Bayfront Park and left. And I thought, okay, I had just had a book published, so I thought, I'm going to retire, spend my time writing. And a commissioner from Coconut Grove called me and said, hey, we have an opening at the Coconut Grove. Coconut Grove bid, would you be interested in coming down? I said, yeah, I'll come down and I'll help you find the new executive director. So that's what I did. This was in about 16, 17. And found a new executive director. And while I was there, somebody came to me and said, there's an opening on Lincoln Road. Are you interested? I have been infatuated, invested in, admiring of Lincoln Road since I got here back in 1982, when I can assure you it's not the Lincoln Road of today.
I remember. I got here in 82 myself.
Right, but
could throw a bowling ball down.
Right, you could do anything, and nobody would know. But it's that unique urban space that is just crying out for people to come and visit. And when they get there, they're so excited by being there because it has everything that a good public space wants.
So I want you to compare and contrast a little bit. Even though you were only in Coconut Grove a very short time in terms of finding a replacement, what kinds of things did they do at the Coconut Grove bid that perhaps translated or that you've been able to lean on and expand for Lincoln Road?
So, okay, it's interesting because I get to observe like every place that I've been, and I tell people when you get a new job, it's like moving to a new country, and you have to know the locals and you have to understand the way they talk. And so Coconut Grove is a small village, and the people who live in Coconut Grove are very vested in Coconut Grove. And the things that took place in Coconut Grove were very community oriented, so that the Coconut Grove bid has great community relationships. In Lincoln Road, it is the community, which Miami Beach is also kind of a small town. You know that, and I know that because there's 90,000 people here. The difference between Coconut Grove and Miami Beach is, 14 million people come to this village every year. And so we are sort of balancing the needs of the locals that represent pre-pandemic about 35% of our audience with the tourist business, which was about 65% of our audience. And now that's reversed, so that our focus, while we've always been focused on working with the locals, we find that the locals appreciate even more the stuff that we're doing now.
So those are pretty big numbers, and you also had some pretty large numbers that were attracted to Bayfront. When you were there for like 16 years as the manager of the trust, and I think I saw about 8.5 million people over a period of 13 years were attracted. Now you're saying we have about 14 million a year.
A year here.
So I'm just wondering, some of the strategies that you used, I know it was different things, it was concerts and whatnot, but there are still strategies that are employed to attract people to a destination. What can you draw from that experience?
There's a guy, William Hollywhite, who back in the 70s did a study of small urban spaces. And his work on small urban spaces informs the way that I think about public space management. And there are a certain number of things that you need to have. You need to have trees, shade, water, however it manifests itself, whether it's the shore or fountains. You need to have well lit. You need to have view corridors so that people can see what they're seeing is the future. And you have to have things happening in the space that's called triangulation, where two complete strangers feel so compelled by what they're seeing that they start a conversation. And the thing about Lincoln Road and a lot of public spaces that I've been in, that triangulation is the secret sauce. Because if you go to an event on Lincoln Road, or if you go to a cafe on Lincoln Road and you're enjoying your beverage, and you see whatever it is promenading down Lincoln Road, you look at whoever's around and say, hey, did you see that? That's great.
That is so true. And I never heard it explained like that. I never really thought about it in those terms, but you're absolutely right. I mean, people go to Lincoln Road to do people watching, right, while they're eating, while they're shopping.
And so Morris Lapidus, when he designed it, thought of it as sort of a fashion runway where people would promenade in their fineries up and down Lincoln Road. And if you go there today, it's not the same fineries that Morris was thinking about, but it's certainly the fineries the people wearing them are thinking about.
Absolutely. So you talked about the future, and so we know that it's been 5 years already that the commission has been talking about the future and how they're going to change the dynamics on Lincoln Road and the Kerner Mason plan. Can you give us an update of, because recently, a few months back at least, there was a potential withdrawal by Kerner Mason because they were frustrated over the lack of funding, and the commission kept cutting the funding and cutting the funding. And they said, ultimately, it's not going to be our plan. It's going to be a whittled down version so badly that we don't want to put our name on it. Where is that now?
So that's all still in discussion, and no final decisions have been made. And anything that I would say about it would be premature, because there are conversations that take place at my level, but there are conversations that take place at higher levels, and those conversations are ongoing. And eventually we'll get to a resolution. Okay. I don't know what that resolution will be then.
Has any of the work started?
No.
No, okay. So talk a little bit about the programming of the, you're very busy on Lincoln Road. I mean, you guys, you've got yoga, you've got programs. Talk about the programming that you've brought and the engagement of both the businesses as well as the community.
So what we noticed, and as we're coming out of the pandemic, thankfully, last year at this time, there were a number of programs that we implemented that we thought we could do under the circumstances that could provide relief to the locals in Miami Beach. The first thing we looked at was health and wellness programming, and we worked with the people in the 1111 garage to get the 7th floor of the 1111 garage, the Herzog and the Muron, which is always in the top 10 list of the best garages on the planet. And throughout the summer, we were hosting free yoga and boot camp classes on the 7th floor of 1111. And then one of our board members, Lyle Stern, said, what about the local yoga studios and gymnasiums? They don't have places to work out. So we did a further deal with 1111, where gyms and yoga studios, each were assigned 1 day a week, were assigned the opportunity to host 4 pay classes to keep their businesses going in a socially distanced, sanitized location. So from Monday through Sunday, there was some workout taking place on the 7th floor of 1111 throughout the height of the pandemic. Everybody who came had to wear a mask. There were 7 feet between everybody who was working out. It was really a beautiful thing. That program is now winding down. We're still doing the free yoga and boot camps on Saturdays and Sundays, and we're still doing a kettlebell class on Wednesdays and a boot camp on Friday. The other thing that we did is we partnered with Sobe Wine and Food Festival, and we would close down streets on, the cross streets on Lincoln Road, Michigan primarily, during the weekends of the Arts and Antique show, and invite 18 to 20 small entrepreneurs, food entrepreneurs, who's had a significant Instagram or social media following to come out and sell their product on Lincoln Road. It was magnificent, and we did that for about 6 Sundays in a month, once a month for 6 Sundays in a row. We plan to do that again next season. So, and we would do pop-ups. We would find people who had great Instagram followers, invite them on Lincoln Road to do pop-ups, and then we were working with Mark Weiser, who used to book the talent at Tobacco Road, and he and the Rhythm Foundation booked talent so that we had a Saturday and Sunday brunch musical accompaniment to the pop-ups on Lincoln Road. And then, so
it's incredible.
No, it was this moment during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, where just this creativity was unleashed on Lincoln Road. Michael Comras had a space open, and I think the address is 744 Lincoln Road. The Miami City Ballet didn't have enough space for everybody to work out at their studios.
Right, some of them were dancing
so
in the windows.
So they were brought back to Lincoln Road, and it turns out
the Colony Theater, they had a whole show that with national attention in the different story with the 7 sins.
Seven deadly sins of Lincoln Road.
Incredible.
And so when the ballet was on Lincoln Road, it happened to have been the 35th anniversary of their founding, which started on Lincoln Road. So it was kind of interesting there. And then the discussions with the creative director from the ballet led to performances on Lincoln Road. It was really just great.
Well, Tim, one of the things I just have to cover a little bit is I was so impressed when anyone writes a book. Mm-hmm. For me, getting elected was like the most difficult thing I could ever imagine. But writing a book, I think, would top that, because you have to have the discipline to sit and write. What motivated you to write a book? And talk just briefly, because we're almost out of time, but talk briefly about that experience of writing a book.
So I have lived my entire life as if I was going to be a writer. And I went on a wagon train because I thought that, I was under the mistaken impression that to be a writer you had to live an interesting life. So what I've done is I've lived this really interesting life. And the result of that was this, thoughts. Back when I first got here, or back in the 90s, I guess it was, Tropic Magazine used to publish fiction.
Yes.
And I used to send my stories into Tropic, and I'd be published there all the time. But you've always thought, I've got to write a novel. So I sat down one day and worked through a novel. And then when I finished that, I started another novel. And it's something that you want to do. And it's not, I'm just going to say, I don't really enjoy it.
It's not easy.
It's not, I don't enjoy doing it, but I enjoy the fact that I've done it.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, Tim, thank you. It's been fascinating chatting with you, and congratulations on a fantastic job of bringing Lincoln Road back to life, and especially during the challenging times over the past 18 months that we've all kind of had, and really done a great job.
Thank you very much.
I want to remind all of you to tune into our show every Friday at noon, broadcasted live from the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce's Facebook page. And make sure to tag us and share your What's Good Miami Beach moments on Facebook and Instagram. And that's it for us today. What's good, Miami Beach?
What's Good Miami Beach is sponsored by noted plastic surgeon Dr. Baruch Jacobs and the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center. Dr. Jacobs has been referred to by the New York Times as a plastic surgeon who keeps Miami Beach beautiful. Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery has a state-of-the-art operating room and offers medical aesthetic services and VIP hotel and surgical packages. We invite you to contact us to enjoy a consultation and experience What's Good Miami Beach at the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center.